M. The Media Project.
Excuse me, do you mind if I join you? Are you sure you don't mind? You're absolutely sure about me to stab you?
No problem, as long as you got the right people to play us. Admit it, Redford was dying to play me, right?
Not exactly. Here's the cast list.
Murray, Aykroyd, and Ramis? What's that, a law firm?
Hello and welcome to the Mental Suppository. I'm Brett Herholtz.
I'm Jamie Billings.
I'm Sydney Goddard.
I'm Andrew Shanley.
And I'm Wayne Nevis.
And welcome to Season 2.
Yay! Yay!
And just remember this, everybody. It gets better after episode 46.
Yeah, there was a cliffhanger at the end.
There was?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
I know.
Wait, wasn't I there?
Were you?
I don't know.
It had something to do with Johnny Lawrence and Cobra Kai.
It always has something to do with Johnny Lawrence and Cobra Kai.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. Put him in a body bag. Sweep.
And of course it wouldn't
Sweep the leg.
And of course it wouldn't be a new season if we didn't have a new sponsor. And I think this is a show our listeners might want to know about.
Another effing sponsor?
Yes, Jamie, another effing sponsor.
This is good. Don't we want more sponsors?
Gosh, the ones that we get, man. I don't.
I'm still waiting for my logos.
Classic series returns.
Whatever you do, don't push this red button.
You mean this red button?
Gilligan!
Yes, it's Gilligan's Bunker.
You just killed half the population. What do you have to say for yourself?
Would saying I'm sorry help?
Well, if you put it that way. Gilligan!
And guess who's in the bunker with them?
The millionaire just grabbed me by the...
Wrong. Fake news. Just another nasty woman lying about me. And, excuse me, her pie's not that good, okay? I've had better. Isn't that right, Melania?
Don't talk to me.
I didn't know Marianne had a cat, Skipper.
Shut up.
And wait till you meet the movie star.
Ron Jeremy!
You thought you were rid of me, but like a cockroach, I keep returning. Now watch me swing it around counterclockwise.
Oh, it's like someone melted a garden hose in a microwave.
Remember when I said we were lucky to be alive?
Yeah, Skipper?
Well, I take it back.
Watch Gilligan's Bunker.
I built a television set out of coconuts and a Chiquita banana box. That should give us contact with the outside world. If you're such a great scientist, Professor, why don't you come up with a cure for the zombie virus? Fuck you, Gilligan.
Only on Nick at Night.
Good one, Andrew.
Thank you.
That was a good ending, Andrew.
Yeah.
That was. Thank you.
That was really good, Andrew. Yes.
It takes a lot of talent to be able to say only at Nick at Night.
Only on Skinamax.
Only on USA Up All Night.
Is that what you want, Skinja?
Skinja. That's a whole other. That's a whole other episode. Around summer last year, we started talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife, yes. And at that point, we weren't sure that when the movie was going to come out because it was like it kept on pushing the date. Kept on pushing the date back. Like I think it was first started in July, then it was pushed to November, December. And you thought, when is this ever going to come out? But after seeing it, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like after how many decades, Dan Aykroyd finally kind of got the sequel he wanted.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I thought it was really good. I did.
And it's a great way to actually continue the storyline.
Exactly.
Yeah. In a great way.
Which is what it kind of felt like or did not feel like in the Melissa McCarthy version.
I kind of want to keep away from that, criticizing that one too much because
No. I don't want to criticize the movie. Yeah. My point I'm saying is that the movie itself was fine. It's just it had absolutely nothing to do with Ghostbusters. Yeah. So almost like a different universe that was made in.
AU.
This universe.
AU.
Yeah.
It was in the Ghostverse.
But this version, absolutely a nice sequel? So the second version?
So this would be Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah, Ghostbusters 3. Thank you.
I think this is what they call a legacy sequel, where they have, it's like even though they have a new cast, you still have like sort of the old cast, the original characters sort of tied in somehow. Kind of the way they did it with the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. It's like, even though they didn't have the original characters, they weren't the main characters anymore. And it was sort of the same way with this one, only the main characters in this one I really liked.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I think we should mention in this episode that we will be discussing spoilers. So if anybody hasn't seen the film, I personally would tell people, watch the film before you really listen to our podcast, because obviously we don't want to get people upset because we spoil the big, huge thing.
But about this time, really, if you haven't seen it by now,
I know, it's like 22 people.
The wife and I went and saw it in the theater, and I'm not going to say the name of the theater, but we bought tickets the night before, and we bought it for a Monday showing. We figured, let's try to go when like hardly anyone will be there. So we did it for a Monday
Just you and the popcorn
at a noon show.
Yeah.
So we walk into the theater, and I got my phone ready to show our tickets, right? We walk into the theater, and we go, there's no one here. Awesome. Let's just go right up and grab our popcorn. We go up to the popcorn guy. We get our popcorn. He doesn't ask for a ticket. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go to the theater. We go over around to the theater. I think there's going to be a guy there waiting to get our ticket. There was no one there. No one checked for a ticket. We walked into the theater.
In and out like a force ghost here.
And then we walked into the theater to watch the show, and there was no one else in the theater with us. We had it all to ourselves. That was a great feeling. That was an awesome feeling. And then we watched it. We enjoyed it. But unfortunately, and this is part of the spoilers, we didn't stay through the credits.
Oh.
So I didn't know about the cool stuff until we got home, and we downloaded the actual one when it came out. So, yeah.
So,
I can discuss those spoilers.
Just to let you know, though, that feeling you and Lisa got watching that movie entirely, that's called the Michael Jackson effect. That's when Michael Jackson bought out Disneyland for him and his family to just enjoy the park all by themselves. You just had a Michael Jackson effect. Congratulations. You felt rich. For a fleeting moment, you
Did they have a pet monkey with
I really
them?
could have used the Michael Jackson effect.
I could have had a monkey with me.
and like the elephant man's bones.
Or as my wife would actually say, no, she had a monkey with him.
Oh, you were the monkey.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the main thing was, a lot of the times sometimes with sequel trilogies or legacy sequels, it's like the main characters aren't always that great. But this one, the characters were really well written, and I thought Ivan Reitman's son Jason did a great job.
He did.
I was wondering if that was his son. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And I enjoyed how the character of Phoebe still had like the DNA in her, and like, I've never met my grandfather. I don't know this guy. And then she's like, very nerdy, just like he is, and she's like almost like an introvert in a way.
I loved her character for the simple fact that she had those really bad jokes.
Yes.
Those jokes were
those jokes were funny.
And they landed in a way that was very unique and special. Like, what happens if you take the the F and the H out of it?
And
that was very good.
I think the best one though was, why is it you can never trust atoms?
Because they make up everything. That one's a good one.
I forgot about that one.
As being a science nerd, that's
the other thing I really liked about the movie was the fact that it wasn't set in New York. They actually went outside of New York City.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Movie, and it's funny because Jason Reitman actually gave props to the 2016 Ghostbusters film, where he said it was the film proved that you can do a Ghostbusters movie or a sequel without having the main characters be the focal point, and so that kind of helped them as they went and did Afterlife. And I mean, taking it further, taking it outside of New York City, you can have a Ghostbusters film that's like in the Midwest.
And like we were saying about the characters, even Podcast was a great character. And he was sort of like the comic relief in it too,
And going into it, I wasn't crazy about the name, but it kind of grew on me.
I thought he was like the Ned from Spider-Man in this movie.
Oh,
really?
Totally. He was the guy in the chair.
I honestly saw him, when I saw him screwing up, I saw him as being involved. Like, he knew what was going on, and he was sent to this to Phoebe to kind of keep an eye on her, because he always seemed like to screw up at the time he needed to actually do what he needed to do.
Right.
But no, he was just a screw up, which, okay, and later in the movie, like, oh, he's not a bad guy. He's not trying to screw things up. He's just a screw up.
He's kind of a mix between Ray and Louis Tully, it seemed like. He was kind of an amalgamation of those two characters.
So, speaking of like in the world of Ghostbusters, do you guys have, it's married couples, do you have inside personal jokes that are Ghostbuster jokes?
Kind of.
I collect mold and fungus.
Like whenever my wife like mentions that she's going to cook something, she'll be like, I'm going to cook something. I'll just look at her and it'll be like, sounds great.
I don't know. We're always going with like, get her. And that was just
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah. We do a lot of Ghostbuster jokes at work because a lot of us are in our 40s, so a lot of us have those references.
Oh God, yeah.
Nice.
No, that was the other thing I liked about the movie is there was like little nods to like the Ghostbusters animated series, like the
gunner seat.
The gunner seat.
The gunner seat was great. Yes.
Oh my God, yes. Such a great addition to that car. Honestly, I mean, it really, a lot of people. There have been people who have criticized this film for being way too callback and way too nostalgic.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I mean, honestly, my attitude is this is really a product film that fits in with a franchise. And just like, if you had like a Corvette or a Mustang or some other major classic
or a Camaro.
car.
It's not a Camaro.
Or a Camaro.
It's not a Camaro.
You want to have certain elements that carry over into the new film.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief that's necessary to make this film kind of work together. Like, where's this? Where's that? A lot of moviegoers today are so grounded in reality, they have to have everything explained. Like, how Batman got his, his little throwing darts or wherever. No, you don't need to know that.
It's true.
You just need to know that there's a gunner seat in the Ecto-1 and it's freaking cool. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
They have a remote control,
a remote control ghost trap. Yep.
That I thought
all the cool stuff.
That I thought was cute.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was cute.
I like that it had like
cool.
it had great suspension and it was like bouncing everywhere.
Although
it goes as fast as the Ecto-1.
I know. That was cool.
To what Andrew was saying, though, I will admit I'm slightly one of those people because the moment that chair did come out, the first thing that went through my head was, okay, logistically, there's no way that arm is going to support that chair. She'd have fallen down and died as she was rolling along. That was the first thing that came to me. But as soon as I saw her shoot it, then I was like, okay, now I'm enjoying it. But yes, my mind immediately went to, no, chair, no. What is that doing there?
What are you doing there, chair?
What are you doing there, chair? What's going on with you?
It's funny, honestly. Not only that, there's been a lot of people that have criticized movies with they're saying it's fetishizing the 80s or something like that. And I'm thinking, well, pop culture's always kind of done that. If you remember back, if you remember back to the 80s,
pop culture.
Yeah, if you remember back to the 80s, they were people were sort of doing things about the 1950s or the 1960s. Oh, hold on.
I remember you'd have shows like what is that? Was that Stand By Me?
Stand By Me, The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Woodstock 94.
I know, but it's still same concept.
It's always, you're right. It's
Woodstock
always been
94?
there.
Quantum Leap. No,
Quantum Leap.
No, well, Quantum Leap was that's a period piece. You can't really count that.
I'm just goofing.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were actually having a discussion.
Well,
we were, but it's one of those things. It's always, like we were saying, it's always kind of happened. We've always kind of harkened back to a time. So, of course, you have a lot of the kids whose parents were probably grew up in the 1980s who are kind of, thinking, oh, that would have been cool the same way we might have looked at the 1950s or the 1960s when we were younger.
Yeah, but I mean, I think all the stuff that was in there shows like a good evolution of it. So anybody that has criticism about the arm and the remote controlled car, and it doesn't. What?
They don't get it.
Anyone that has criticism of it, I mean, if it'd be like, oh, well, you're placating to the 80s and all that crap that happened in Ghostbusters from the 80s. Well, no, that's not the point. The point is where did it come from? Of course it came from the Ghostbusters in the 80s. If you're going to continue to do the story, then of course they're going to have the fucking proton packs, and of course they're going to be like, well, yeah, we're going to make our job a little easier. How about we have Egon construct a little arm to have this thing come out on the seat? That would be pretty cool, right? They could essentially do that. Anyone that says that they placated to the 80s, it's like, well, that's the evolution of where this stuff came from. Right. So, of course, it has to continue into this movie.
But that's old folks. We're the ones who are spending the money on the merchandising with
Exactly.
this. You know?
Merchandise.
Hello.
Yep.
It's not like we dress up for this, like, for fun.
Yeah. We take this very seriously.
I'm pretty sure you are doing this for fun. No, but the point I'm was going to make was it's not quite the same, but it is technically is. Take the movie and TV show Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day when Dukes of Hazzard was made, you had that specific car. I'm not talking about the characters. I'm not talking about the circumstances. I'm not talking about the sets. Let's just take the car. Now, fast forward to around this time when they decide to make a remake of the movie, everyone goes up in arms because of the car, because it's got a Confederate flag on the roof, because this is cancel culture, because nobody likes it. It's like, guys, you can't have the Dukes of Hazzard if you don't have the car. Ghostbusters. You can't have Ghostbusters if you don't bring back the 80s. Why? Because that's where it came from.
Exactly.
It all came from that point. It's like, yes, I understand your grievance, but shut up.
They gave it a little bit of real world with like stuff like the Ecto kind of sitting in a garage, kind of rusting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Needed to be repaired.
Yeah.
I do see the hypersensitivity sort of like waning out, however, lately, because people are sort of getting really tired of the whole hypersensitivity over things like that.
Yeah.
Now, I agree under certain circumstances, like when you talk about the General Lee and the Confederate flag on top, I think a lot of people are very sympathetic to what the symbolism means today. But, like, you know, when you go back to the 1980s when they made the car, the idea of the car was probably some studio executive or somebody at the company. Well, what's a cool looking thing you can throw on the car? Oh, throw the Confederate flag on top. What does it mean? I don't know. It's what everybody.
Well, they called it. They gave the name of the car General Lee. So, what can we do?
What else can we do?
Well, 1 + 1 = 3. Wait, no, hold on a second.
Put an 01 on the side. Number one.
Now,
number one.
Could they have done something where you bring the car into existence, but you decide to change it over? It's no longer the General Lee. It's no longer orange. It's no longer got the Confederate flag. Kind of what they did in Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. The fact that the characters are old, the car is beat to shit.
Oh, yeah.
The traps, the idea of what Egon wanted to do from the get-go is what they did in the very end. It worked, but
right. I like how that did come around full circle.
Yes,
yeah.
Because it was a brilliant idea on Egon's part.
Let's talk about the way they handled Egon in Remembering
Yes.
Reign.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was so brilliant. Didn't say a word.
Anyone?
He didn't have to. It was perfect for that.
Guys, honestly, we're all Ghostbuster fans.
Yep.
It meant a lot to us.
Yeah.
Did you tear a little bit?
Okay. Now, I will say this. I was in the theater. I
had a little something right here. I looked over at the wife. She was crying because she cries at a Hallmark commercial.
When I saw that hand, just reach out.
Just reach out and hold it.
I was like, holy
goosebumps.
Shit.
And they handled the CGI in the right way. It wasn't overwhelming.
Yep.
And it looked good.
It did.
Also, he was a ghost too, so he was able to work as a special.
They had aged the images that they had from the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
As to using a more modern.
They had an actual person doing the stand-in for him.
Yes.
I heard it was two people.
Yes.
One was Ivan Reitman, and the other was an actor. I forget the name of the actor, but he was the warden in Shawshank Redemption. He was also the guy.
Bob Gunter. Bob Gunter.
Thank you.
That's why we keep the human IMDb here.
Wayne Nevitz, human IMDb.
That's right.
And he's got all the board posts in his brain too. But yeah, so when they did Egon, I was just like, holy crap. And it was not only well done, but it was just very respectful of the character, of what was supposed to be seen, and how it was just kind of put together. I was blown away. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe they did it this way.
This is when CGI is done right. It's one of those things.
Yes.
Sometimes it can be just so overwhelming and so in your face. And this one, it was subtle enough where you could see.
It was very subtle,
yeah. You could see his face, but not in a way where it looked like a. I mean, I liked Rogue One, but I mean the Governor Tarkin CGI and
that was terrible.
Looked very video game.
I will say yes, absolutely very a video game, but I will say I still appreciated the effort that they put into putting Tarkin there.
Yeah, like same with Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brett.
Oh, yeah. And another thing, another example, you could see the sheen, the smoothness on their skin. They still haven't developed the technology to make a skin look like skin.
It's better than what we did in the '90s, but still, it's still a technology that's developing. And the way they did it, this one, like I said, it's not so in your face.
But they had more leeway because they were representing a ghost, not an actual human.
Well said.
So it didn't matter as much if it wasn't accurate.
Give it another 10 years. We're going to see John Wayne in another movie soon. I guarantee
that actually makes me very sad hearing you say that. It does.
That's a reality. I know that.
No, I know. That's what makes it so sad is that you hear all these songs in commercials that you're like, what the hell? That song shouldn't be there. Why is that being played? And you realize that as time goes on, they're rehashing things from the past because they got nothing new.
Oh yeah. We already had that discussion a while back that it's just a lot of the stuff that people are trying to bring back these days is to placate to the masses that have the money.
Okay, but no, you first your point.
No, I don't want to anymore.
So then my point would be this: if we are rehashing the old shit, why are you criticizing it?
So no one else has the right to criticize something if...
Well, my only criticism is this. Growing up in the 1980s, I was exposed to these types of movies all the time. Not just Ghostbusters, but other movies like, Flight of the Navigator and, other great franchises like Indiana Jones and Back to the Future and all these great franchises that were amazing. And I really... Krull. Oh, Krull's the best, man. But my point is this: is that I look at what this generation has,
hit just blew up.
And they don't.
Oh, seriously, I got to talk about this.
And they don't have any. They don't have any franchises to really call their own. Like we can look back on our youth and like whenever a movie summer came out, it was like frickin' Christmas.
Oh yeah,
it was like Christmas to us. We could go to the theater and we could not only see a movie, but every single year we could go see a movie that was like a whole new adventure. It was a whole new
new experience,
like The Karate Kid, for example, or or Beverly Hills Cop, or any of these
Pee-wee's
other
Big
great
Adventure.
movies. Yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I mean, seriously, like
don't knock it. That movie was funny.
Or Batman.
Rated R back then was like a seal of approval. It was like you were going to see something cool, like Predator or Commando or something like that. But like
you see Arnold going Commando.
Raw deal. Yeah.
But you know what? The movies that you see coming out nowadays, they don't really have any franchises to really call their own because they keep on going back to our stuff, and they try to reinvent it and change it and sell it and everything else like that because they want to get our generation and they want to get the younger generation. Not to say that's a bad thing, but I really kind of like think that is more the sadness to me than seeing them kind of take our stuff and kind of like, hey, we're gonna make The Mandalorian now, and I'm like, come on, Book of Boba Fett.
Getting back on conversation about another thing about the three original Ghostbusters and how they show up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was good too.
Yeah.
It was good to see them kind of playing off each other at that last part. That was great.
That whole the first line.
I loved when Egon stood there with them with the guns. I like how they did the camera motion where each one of them slowly turned their eyes over when they're all fighting the beam. The beams are going, and they all slowly look over at him and be
Winston's the first one who notices.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think they all noticed, but they were all kind of like, okay, now I have a free moment. It just happens to be after Winston.
Yeah.
And Ray's like, okay, now I have a free moment. It just happens to be after
Winston.
Ray.
Finally got his dues, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like the first line of Venkman showing up going, "Hey, flat top."
Yeah. And Olivia Wilde did such an awesome.
Oh, was that her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was like three different women, but the majority of it was Olivia Wilde, and I thought she was just like when she first came. I'm like, no, that can't be like the same actress from the 80s.
Well, yeah, J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson and the We Are Farmers guy as
Ivo Shandor. Yeah.
Ivo Shandor. I have built this temple.
Yes, I was just going to say,
you know what?
Like paper.
I kind of thought at that scene, had he not said rule together, had he said, I wish to rule by your side or I wish to be your slave, she probably would have said, okay. But the fact that he said, we will rule together, nope.
Can you imagine the one time Ivo Shandor forgot to do the dishes?
Oh,
How
that's not a good
pissed
day.
she would be.
Take out the. I mean, she would have no ability to control herself. What did you do?
But what?
What'd you do?
But think about it. Like all that time, he's like put himself in suspended animation for this one triumphant scene, and he just gets
one moment.
Yeah, he just gets his arrogance just gets him ripped right in half.
Actually,
like a
great example.
Pissed about New York, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Could be, but a great example of this scene in Ghostbusters is a movie called Lords of Illusion. When in the end of the movie, the guy who they all fought so hard to bring back just kills them all. And they all realize, oh, we made a mistake. Oh,
we screwed up.
We screwed up.
Of course, they had to do
Our bad.
Of course, they had to do the "Are you a god?" scene, and Bankman.
And I love that. Ray, come on, we talked about this. I can imagine them in the car driving to this place. Like Ray, remember, if she asks, you say yes.
But just the slow burn at that point. They don't say a word at first, and they just kind of look at him.
And I love it's Ray. Oh my God, his name's went right out of my head. Winston. I love it's Winston, the first one to say that. Like, we talked about this.
Ray.
Winston was always one of the practical guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
he was there for the paycheck to begin with.
Yes, but the scene when Ray goes,
working man.
I don't remember this job being so painful. And Winston's like, I do. Yes, but he said, example, he was the guy who had to lug everything. He was the guy who did all the front leg work. The other guys were like just for show.
Well, no, what did he say? He said that obviously Ray was the heart.
Yes. Egon was the brains.
Egon was the brains.
Peter made it look cool.
Peter made it look cool. And who were you? I was a sex appeal.
Yes, he was. Well, just like to show the difference of the characters. Even the original Ghostbusters, you had the scene of Ray and Winston in the car, and they're talking religion. You have Ray,
that's a good scene.
Very scientific. Very, he doesn't. Believe
And they all have the tattoo of the.
The Bible verse on their arm. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that verse? I couldn't read it.
And you open the sixth seal. Yeah, you open the sixth seal, and behold, that one.
Yeah, the whole thing.
But just that last scene was, what if the dead really have risen from the grave? And you got Ray, who's still very analytical, just stops this.
Just goes.
Music, which is
how about some music? Yeah, how about some music?
Yeah.
And then they have the iconic scene of the Ecto one going over the bridge.
But even in this movie, there was supposed to be a movie called The Ghostbusters Go to Hell, which they actually go into hell to fight ghosts. And
I heard some of there was a script in the process of that.
And there was scenes in this movie that felt like parts of that, because it's like when they were down in the temple, and all of a sudden,
Oh, that tube of all the creatures coming out of the tube, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And Egon's trap that he set to sort of keep everything in check, with all the proton.
Well, the protons, yeah.
I kind of wondered if that was taken from the Hell movie that they were going to do.
Well, basically, it seems like they took pieces from everything Ghostbuster from the second movie up till the making of this movie.
And the
any little piece they could animated series, exactly. Any little piece they could take, what they just considered canon and just continued it along until they made the Afterlife.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of service in a good way.
Yeah.
What about
exactly.
what about some of the secondary characters? What would you think about like Paul Rudd's character?
Oh, I like his
Paul
character
Rudd's
a lot.
Yeah. He was funny.
How can you not?
Yeah, I love the fact that he's looking at this and he's looking at them like, are you serious?
He's like a fanboy.
Yeah, he's a fanboy.
He's totally a fanboy.
And he's a really bad.
You guys
teacher.
never seen this?
And the fact.
Yeah, he's a bad teacher too. Yeah.
Oh no. That's the thing. The moment he showed Cujo to these kids, this is a teacher who gets award of the year. He was awesome. Dude, I've been in summer school. It sucks. If I could have watched movies like that in summer school, I would have loved it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What was the other movie he showed? He showed Cujo, and there was another one.
Was it like
Child's Play?
Oh,
it was Child's Play.
Yeah, Child's Play. Yeah.
It's just all, and the fact that he's like in the back just with the magazine up.
Yep. Ooh, wait,
You're
where'd
not
it
showing
go?
anything. There you go. Where'd you go?
You don't know what this
doing?
is? This is a ghost trap.
All right.
I don't know what is wrong with me. I keep fading in and out. It's crazy.
I'm gonna have to take one of those
see if I can
ghost
help.
traps. I'm gonna have to take one of those.
Even help.
I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to take one of those ghost traps and put it on a remote control car and just drive it to a convention.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be
you got to
awesome.
get one of those tracks 4x4 ones. Yeah.
Just a cheap little remote control car, and you know how like Target had the little cheapo trap thing that looked like a plastic trap, but it was basically a hollow plastic earner or whatever. Just cut out the bottom, put it on top of the car, and just drive it around.
That would be awesome. But honestly, after all the talk and after all the supposed criticism, I think they did a great movie. I did think they did an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, I think so.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
It was worth the ticket price. I think that a lot of people are already have compared it to the 2016 version, and I really tell you the truth, it's like apples and oranges. And really, that's the thing. It was made for a different audience. And while I do have criticism for Paul Feig for some of the things that he did, I would say that Ivan Reitman made a respectful film for the fans that people wanted to see. And not only was it respectful.
Actually, it's Jason Reitman.
Jason Reitman. I'm sorry.
Ivan was there. He's one of the producers.
Yeah.
They're like together.
That's
as far
right,
as
you're
I'm
right.
concerned, yeah.
He was kind of over his shoulder, but he was just sort of like,
Yeah, you do it, but I'm going to just make sure you're doing it right.
My son's doing
Exactly.
And the Easter eggs in this film are great. They weren't too.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, you know what? I realized when we saw the brain scans in Egon's lab, I had said, oh, that's from Louis Tully. But no, when Louis Tully's head was being scanned, you could see the terror dog in him.
It was a terror dog, yeah.
Yeah, but those scans were normal. So were those Dana's scans?
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten about that
maybe.
scene. The other one was there was the scene where Phoebe's calling Ray and he says about Egon Spengler, and Ray says Egon Spengler can burn
Rotten
in hell.
hell.
Yeah,
Rotten hell or
which
something,
is,
yeah.
if you remember from the original Ghostbusters, what was written on Peter Venkman's door. Peter Venkman can burn in hell.
Burn in hell, yep.
How about the books on the back end when they're walking in and they're all stacked up?
Yeah, they're already stacked in the room.
Severely OCD.
I freaked out over the fire pole.
Although,
Oh, yeah.
okay, again, slight criticism, but these shockwaves have been going on for a while before the family showed up to take over the house after Egon was dead. How are these books still standing up perfectly?
Magic.
Egon.
Oh, and another thing, I love the fact that his little hideaway nook for the trap was a Chinese puzzle box.
Yes.
And I love the fact that Phoebe figured it out. No. Immediately went through and figured it out. That was awesome. I love that.
It shows
scene.
more that she has a lot of Spengler DNA in her.
Yeah.
More than she knows.
Yeah, and I love the fact that she's
That was good.
unapologetic about it too. Throughout the whole movie, you don't once see her shy away from the fact that she's a nerd, or the fact that she's awkward, or the fact that her jokes are terrible to other people.
You guys living up there by the dirt farmer? You all call him the dirt farmer? No, don't take offense to it, but he didn't grow shit. That's just kind of that guy sounded to me. I love that scene.
I kind of like the fact that Phoebe was the scientist and her brother was kind of the gearhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel
fixing up the car.
He's 15 years old working on the car. That's stuff my dad would have done at 15 years old. He'd be working on cars like that in the backyard.
And eventually, because of it, they got to work together, teamed up. He's driving around the thing and she's there shooting everything. So it was kind of nice.
One of the scenes with the terror dog's chasing Paul Rudd and jumps on his car, and all of a sudden you hear the tires blow and it just goes.
Yeah.
I like the Walmart scenes. That was great.
Yes.
The stuff with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Okay. Where was everybody?
I know that was weird.
Yeah.
No registers, no employees, no customers. We hear one scream, and then that's it. Where is everybody?
Oh, it's sort of like Spencer.
They were in quarantine.
Yeah. So apparently
they filmed at the Walmart. Spencer.
Yeah, I missed it, but apparently Louis Tully's tracksuit was at that Walmart.
Really?
Yeah, I totally missed that one though.
Wow. That's great.
I would have liked
a hell of a workout.
I would have actually liked it if they mentioned Janine and Louis had gotten together at the end or something.
Yeah, I know.
Because they were kind of a couple in Ghostbusters 2.
In Ghostbusters 2, they made it. Yeah,
they did. Let's talk about the post-credit scenes.
Oh yes,
yes. Let's talk about the first post-credit scene. Yes,
yes.
The first post-credit scene with Peter Venkman and Dana.
Yes.
And they're just sitting there and they're doing the first experiment that that Peter's doing, and she's got him like wired up. She's like, "What's this? What's this one?" He actually picks it right, and he's like, "Well, I didn't really have to wire up my students. I just, did that
Just
for
the guys.
To shock the guys.
Just the guys.
No, but I like the fact that right that moment afterwards, she shocks me and goes, "You know what? I know I did wrong. I know I did wrong. It was bad. I shouldn't have done that. No." But it is kind of acknowledging, okay, back in the 80s, this sort of thing, sort of acceptable. Now, no.
Shocking students?
No, shocking the guys so that he can get with the girls. I think that's what everyone was focusing on. Not the fact that they were actually torturing another human being.
Hey, he paid him $5.
Yeah, he did. That's true.
Dude got paid.
He did pay him the $5.
$5 is not a lot of money in 1980.
Yeah, that was at least worth like what, a Big Mac? Or
maybe a Snickers.
And a Snickers.
Half a tank of gas.
Half a tank.
Or a Crunch Bar.
A Crunch Bar.
Actually, hold on. When did this movie come out compared to Die Hard?
The original?
The original, the
Die
first
Hard
one.
came out in 88. This Ghostbusters came out in 84.
So
I thought you were IMDb.
I numbers not so good. 4 years difference. If you remember the gas prices in Die Hard, they were less, 87 cents?
Oh my God, I know.
4 years earlier than that. So imagine how much gas would have been. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Sid. $5 would have filled your tank probably.
That's a lot of money in the 80s.
Yeah.
But dude, you remember back in the 90s when
that was a movie ticket.
Like $10, I can get myself half a tank of gas and 2 cheeseburgers and a pack of cigarettes.
I'm made for the weekend.
And they wouldn't even card you, nothing.
No,
not in Spencer.
Great.
No.
Hell, you came out of the womb with a pack.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Your baby fat rolled it up in your arm.
Congratulations, it's a boy. Here's a cotton.
Baby fat.
Come out with an umbilical cord and a packet of Camels.
Yep. I got Lucky Strike Reds.
Oh gosh.
First words out of the kid's mouth. Who got a light?
Yeah. Here you go, kid.
I'm in flavor country.
You get yourself a
flavor country. Oh, baby. All right, so.
Oh, that was the other
was
thing,
a
actually
great
mentioning
scene.
it. I remember that scene from the original Ghostbusters when Dana first comes in and there's Ray working on the car with the cigarette butt hanging out of it.
Right over the engine.
That is so
Right over
like
the
a lot-
engine. Yep.
That is
All right,
so
I
like
just
a lot
love
of the
the-
mechanics my dad worked with. It's like these guys who, you're working around.
Your dad, same thing.
Oh, yeah, my dad.
Working around flammable material with something lit on the end of your lip.
With an ash just hanging
Just
there
hanging
like 2 inches long and just like, how is that on there?
Yeah.
Physics are being defined.
Just tap it out already.
Yeah, that for me, my OCD would constantly be like, just tap it for
growing up,
crying out loud.
growing up, I would do that. Yeah, I'd walk up to him with an ashtray and just be like, I can't handle this.
For the love of everything unholy, just please.
Just tap.
So anyway,
Okay, it's time for another episode of The Camaro Man.
I thought you guys said we weren't doing this crap anymore.
nobody said that.
Just you.
I'm pretty sure we all agreed that when I was in front of the class naked, Brett turned into Gene Rayburn and started singing the greatest hits of Robert Goulet, and then Jamie and Andrew burst through the wall driving a hay baler. Don't tell me it was all a dream.
Oh, that all happened.
Except for the part we agreed not to do Camaro Man anymore. That was a dream.
I knew it was too good to be true.
On the highway of justice, I got no time for no Sunday drivers. Unless I'm going leaf peeping or going to a really great diner. And Justice drives a fast car. Fast car manufactured by the Chevrolet Company. And if you're in the wrong lane of justice, I'm gonna run you down. Because justice don't care about vehicular homicide when it comes to serving and protecting the innocent. But if you're in trouble, and when you have no one else to turn, you can call Camaro Man.
When we last left,
The Camaro Man.
does anybody lock the door around here? Yes, the Camaro Man. He had
Just saved Chief Iguana's life by pushing him out of the way of an assassin's fatal bullet. Because that's why he's the Camaro Man.
But you're the Camaro Man.
And so am I.
That doesn't make any... You know what? Fuck this. You're a lucky man, Iguana.
You think being pushed in the line of fire by an idiot is lucky?
No, not that. I mean that the bullet missed your heart, liver, lungs, kidney, and anus. It missed every vital organ.
What about my right testicle?
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But you should make a full recovery and be out of here in no time.
Oh, that's a relief.
I'll be right back. I just got to bone a patient.
You have a bone a patient?
No, I'm just going to go bang one of the nurses.
What? Well, that makes sense.
If you get bored, you can either watch Manimal on the television over there, or there's these issues of Highlight magazine. Here's a crayon.
Thanks, doctor.
Oh, nurse, I found that thermometer you're looking for.
I suppose I could read highlights. Goofus and Gallant. Goofus is such a jerk.
I hope I'm not disturbing your reading, Chief Iguana.
District Attorney Blanco. I knew I hated Goofus for a reason.
Just came by to see how you were recovering.
Came by to see your brother's handiwork. I can show you my ruptured testicle, if that's what you mean.
Well, maybe my brother wouldn't have had to pay you a social call if you didn't sick that lone wolf on me.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Blanco.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. That loose cannon.
Did somebody mention cannon?
Wrong cannon, William Conrad.
Are you going to eat your hospital meal?
No, it's all yours.
I love Salisbury steak. See you gentlemen around.
You know who I mean. I'm talking about...
Don't say his name!
The Camaro Man.
Stop calling that shitty 2016 knockoff a Camaro!
Is this dirtbag giving you a problem, Iguana?
Isn't it bad enough that I'm in the hospital? Why'd you have to show up?
I was just on my way to your room with this bag of Werther's Originals I was going to give you as a gift when I heard some shouting.
Well. Look who it is.
You looked right, Blanco. It's...
Just shut up! Just shut the hell up!
The Camaro Man.
You should just call yourself the Chevy piece of shit, man!
I got a warning for you, Camaro Man.
I'm going to beat you both with my bedpan!
If you keep sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, I'm gonna see it personally. Your badge gets taken away.
And I got something to say to you, Orderico Blanco.
My name's Eric.
Listen to me loud and clear, Larry. When you finish taking a mess and dump in the toilet of crime, you better make sure you clean up after yourself, because if you don't, I'll follow the trail and justice will be right on your way.
Oh. What are you trying to tell me, Camaro Man?
Stop calling him that! He doesn't drive a real Camaro!
You may think you can get away with squeezing the Charmin, but the Charmin squeezes back. And you'll find it's hard to bear when you face off against...
For the love of God!
The Camaro Man.
Doctor, please tell me visiting hours are over!
Not for another 3 hours.
Damn it!
Tune in next week for another episode of...
The Camaro Man.
Please let me finish. Right after an all-new episode of Unsolved Colonoscopies.
Which is nothing like The Camaro Man.
I don't think people will confuse the two.
All right.
So now that there's been the sequel to Ghostbusters, and it left a lot of room at the end for there to be a follow-up movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be? I personally think it might be interesting if they, for a sequel, if they kind of they kind of franchise it off, and they have they kind of go with one of Aykroyd's original ideas of having like these these different Ghostbusters around the world and around the country, sort of fighting ghosts.
I had a few ideas like a while back of like writing my own Ghostbusters, like just a fanfic screenplay, and it was going to be set in Boston. And it was actually going to be basically like it was actually without all the stuff from '89 on, and the idea for me was that the whole world had kind of franchised Ghostbusters, but then what ended up happening is that all the other franchises literally died out, and the last franchise that was left was Boston, and that the Ghostbusters in New York had been annexed by the NYPD or something. So Oscar Barrett, the son of Venkman, goes to Boston because that's the last franchise that he can actually get into, and they were going to basically have Ghostbusters in Boston. That was my idea for like a franchise movie like that, because that would be great. It'd be just fantastic to see them do that. And I think that with Afterlife, they've kind of proven that there is viability going outside of New York.
Right.
But if you could pick a city, like where you could set it, like where would you go?
Sid?
Someplace really haunted. Some like Gettysburg.
Ooh.
Wait, does it have to still be in the United States? Because I'm thinking London.
London would be
or Paris with the underground catacombs.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing.
yeah. How about
Or
New
Spider Gates, Leicester, Mass.
Been there, done
The hell is
that.
that?
Had our wedding pictures taken there.
Yep.
I think New Orleans would be a good place.
Yeah.
That's a good
Oh yeah, it's got a good history. Yeah.
The only reason I don't like the idea of New Orleans is because the fact that they shot off those proton packs in Fat City. It's called Fat City, right? If they shot off those proton packs, that like Bourbon Street would just be destroyed.
Oh, you're talking, the French Quarter.
The French Quarter, yeah. That's the only thing I kind of have a downside of. Whereas England or France or Gettysburg, for that matter, it's all a lot of open area.
Gettysburg
Wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Savannah, Georgia is another place because Savannah is supposed to be one of what's supposed to be a very haunted city as well. So that has some really nice architecture and areas that I think would visually look great in a Ghostbusters movie.
Anything happened to you while you were there?
In Savannah, not to me personally. No, I mean,
No?
I ended up going on a couple tours. One of my professors took us on a tour of one of the cemeteries.
There's
which
a
was
really
cool.
haunted tree where this woman was hanged after killing her former master.
Didn't experience her.
No. Now, what about growing up, Brett?
Yeah.
Did you ever experience anything that was like, oh, I can't explain that. Like, that was just too weird.
Migrations?
No mass sponge migration. No, I can't say. I mean, I had anything weird happen. I had anything weird happen to me that way as a kid. Even though in Spencer, I mean, we had like the Hammond Prouty murder and the Hammond house was supposed to be haunted and places like that. But I never personally myself had anything like that happen. You, Jamie?
I've had a couple. When I was dating this girl a while back, and oh my God, way while back. I'm old now.
You are.
Anyway, she apparently the apartment. Shut up. Apparently that the apartment that we were staying at, apparently somebody had either somebody had hung themselves in the hallway, and another person had shot themselves with a shotgun in the back room, which is why in the back room there was in the corner it was like all replastered weird from the design on it. You see there was a little patchwork.
Your building was Spook Central.
So there was one time that I'm standing in the hallway. And I'm talking to her. She's in the bedroom folding up something, and I can see my shadow being cast from the hallway light onto the into the bedroom.
Yeah.
And then as I'm talking, I see another shadow go past us, like just kind of right past me, like another shadow of a person walking past me, and enough to make me stop conversation and be like, what? Am I crazy? Did I just see that? And she's like, well, the place is haunted. Don't worry about it.
Just very matter of fact.
So
I'm not like the place. I'm like, the place is haunted. What are you talking about? And that's when she told me about the two incidences.
Yeah.
So my paranormal story, I have a couple. I was working with Andy Sawyer on a film, and they were at an apartment they were moving out of. Now, it was inhabited by a ghost. It was a ghost of a young girl. And we were doing a horror movie, and we were basically doing a thing called Bloody Mary, where if the person says it 3 times in the mirror, Bloody Mary shows up and whisks them away. So we're shooting a scene. We're shooting the last shot, and I've got the camera. I'm looking through the lens on the camera, and we have the thing that we have for the effect, the actual Bloody Mary ghost, go by the camera. It's going to be really scary and everything else like that. And I swear, the camera just cuts out. It's black. And then I feel a chill right up my back. And then I'm like, the camera just cut out. It's still recording audio. Just the video is down. Never happened to me in a camera before.
Wow.
And then like, I remember like hearing Lisa, his wife, Andy's wife, go, yeah, I don't think she likes that thing now. And like going, yeah, I can feel it. You know, like that was like one of them. The other one actually happened to me about a year ago. A lot of you know that my father-in-law recently passed, late 2020. So we officially kind of moved into the house around Christmas time last year, 2020 Christmas. And so we're sleeping in his bed. We're still kind of like, the kids are like shacked up in air mattresses in the other rooms. And I wake up. I'm not sure exactly what time, but I see a silhouette of a man standing over me in the bedroom. Now, I didn't say anything. I wasn't scared, but he was just clear as day. Like it was just the outline of a human being in shadow right at the foot of the bed. And I couldn't see any details. It was just a black void of a person. You could see like the shoulders, the head, and everything. And I just went back to sleep, and that was the last time I saw it.
It doesn't help you also live right across the road from a cemetery too, Andrew.
Yeah, that's
actually
fun.
In your town, they wiped out a ton of residences to build the reservoir.
Yep, they did. And the other thing too that's funny is that, and here's just another funny joke. Okay, so I came home from wherever, I forget exactly where it was, and there was a funeral across the street in the cemetery. And I remember going to I remember like going inside the house and like say, "Hey, honey, the new neighbors are moving in." She's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we have to make them a pie." And she's like, "What are you talking about? New neighbors? We got new neighbors?" She gets out and they're all, I'm like, "Yeah, they're all dressed up funny. They got their luggage in this big, huge box. They're pulling out of the car." And she just goes outside and she's like, "You jackass."
Well, this didn't happen to me personally, but there was a story from Savannah about a young girl named Gracie who had died tragically, and she had a grave that was it was modeled after her. Yeah, a bird statue, and I guess what
can't see me, but
yeah,
she's like this.
But it's one of these things. People have said if you put pennies on the statue or drop pennies onto the statue, you can hear Gracie giggling.
Bonaventure Cemetery.
Yeah, in Bonaventure Cemetery, if you drop pennies on the statue, you can actually hear Gracie's giggle on the wind.
That'd be cool.
Oh, there's an alley in Newport where muggers used to rob people so much. It's called Blood Alley.
Oh.
I believe that one.
Yeah. No, we should go to the Stone Tavern House in Ashland. That's near Jamie.
Yeah. Stone Tavern is where my
and buried him there.
That's where my my brother-in-law had his reception thing. Yeah, I've heard all the stories about that place being haunted, and people get lots of weird feelings,
weird
there.
looks.
But it's funny. Dan Aykroyd created the whole Ghostbusters franchise from two things. He loved the old Abbott and Costello movies and the Bowery Boys movies. And I think it was, I don't know if it was like his grandfather or somebody in his family was a spiritualist. And
yeah,
you definitely see him bring that out in the style of how he presents himself. Goes to the Gozerian by order of and he goes through that whole spiel, and you see the others like,
great work, Ray.
Yeah,
thanks, Ray. Thank you,
Bravo,
Ray.
Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
But yeah, that's like his style of Abbott and Costello, that serious character who's clearly being funny by being so serious.
I think that's what made the first movie work too, because it's like it's obviously a funny movie, but they kind of present it in a realistic sort of way.
Yeah.
Even though
I think more so in this one.
Yeah.
I honestly think, especially the fact that they kill somebody, because I don't think they kill anybody in the previous Ghostbusters.
Oh no, you're right. Actually, you're right.
This is the one.
Yeah.
What? Who?
He doesn't. Well, just Stay Puft, but that doesn't. He's supposed to be, he's a ghost anyways when they blow him apart. But,
right. That technically doesn't apply. But as actual human, thank you, Sid. I should have clarified. As actual humans go, Aegon is the only one who gets killed by a ghost.
You're right.
Yeah.
So it is more, not necessarily realistic, but more grounded, more like, oh wow, heroes can die, kind of a thing.
Very true. And the fact that I just thought of it the whole idea of in the original movie that you don't really have like that closure of with Gozer or the Gozerian, everything just sort of dissipates into the ether and it just sort of ends. And in this one, sort of it almost copies, but it's like it comes back. Gozer comes back, so it's like, oh, obviously they didn't destroy it.
So I have a question going back to the whole idea of franchising Ghostbusters around the world, because after the first movie, Ray says that there wasn't enough paranormal activity for them to sustain their business. So how is there enough paranormal activity in their universe, in their Ghostbusting universe, to have franchises?
That's a good question, actually, and it's one of these things, because at the very end of the movie, you go right downstairs to the original containment unit, and the light starts blinking.
And it blinks.
Yes, I may have an answer for that. If you remember when they go to the pit, the death chamber pit, and just before the guns show up, Phoebe gets up on a scaffolding and starts reading off dates, and Podcast starts giving off what these are. You look, there's a 2022, 2021 up there.
Yeah, 2021, yeah.
There's more dates after that. Mm-hmm. She just stops at 2021. That's where you can have your franchise kick in by having, okay, we have people who come in, people who are scientists and military and whatnot, but they all agree now that Ghostbusters were right. And we now need to make a task force for Ghostbusters that will take care of this date, and this date. If something goes wrong, boom, we send them where things start freaking out.
Well, the thing that's weird for me is that if the Ghostbusters universe, if the Ghostbusters universe is real, and okay, cool, like, you guys don't remember the Ghostbusters? Okay, now here's my thing. That would then prove that ghosts exist, that an afterlife does exist. Are you telling me that everybody would just suddenly be like, oh, you don't remember that? Then you don't remember ghosts just being around for a little bit in 1984 and then they just went away? Like, that would be something that proved that ghosts existed. There's proof. And they just kind of toss it off like, you don't remember?
Yes, but that works with the whole fake news and everything like that. You get enough people saying a lie
ghosts,
repeatedly, eventually they're going to believe the lie. So you have people like William Atherton's character immediately jumping on the Ghostbusters. Because think about it. First one and second one. Where are these guys? Do they have the firehouse? Do they have their actual job? No, they're doing their own little things because they themselves lost everything.
Look, they lost everything because they claim taxes. Stupid
Everyone
people claim
has 3
taxes.
mortgages these days.
Yeah,
I can see another element in the future Ghostbuster movies. They're probably going to have like a group of people like PETA who are going to be like, ghosts are people too, man.
Yeah, Gita.
I don't doubt it. Gita.
Yeah.
Nice.
Protect the afterlife.
Protect the afterlife, man.
So they just kind of like tossed it off like, oh yeah, ghosts existed, but like, you remember them? Nah. Nah. That would be like revolutionary
Fucking
to the world.
Fucking ponderous. I'm doing an announcement during a movie about goddamn ghosts and goddamn ghost busting. I mean, what the hell's up with that? The Casey Kasem part where he's like,
what the hell's up with that?
What the hell's up?
Why am I?
Why am I talking about a goddamn ghost?
Ooh-wee. What's up with that?
Oh, what's
I don't
up
know if
with
you guys
that?
remember, but the tall woman that dances with Lewis in the party scene.
Oh, in the apartment. Yep.
Yep, that was Casey Kasem's wife.
You think it's too warm in here for the brie?
Yeah.
That's
All
why
right,
I
you
only
dropped
invite
it all.
clients.
I didn't know that for years, but yeah, it makes sense because Casey Kasem's
And then
in the
you guys-
movie, so why wouldn't his tall, leggy wife be in the movie?
And she was on Cheers.
Tall leggy wife.
Well, compared to Rick Moranis
Everyone's
Oh,
leggy.
yeah.
compared to him.
and Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no. Oh, it would be so nice if Rick Moranis could have been in that movie, though.
I would have liked to have seen
Yeah, it would have been good to have Rick
He
Moranis
is
back.
officially retired, dude. I
I
mean,
know.
even as like bit parts go, he's no, I'm done, nothing.
Hey, that's up to
That's
him.
his
man.
choice, absolutely.
Yep.
No, I agree.
And we got to respect that. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Just kidnap him, put
I
a
still-
helmet on his head.
But I still have a hard time believing.
damn it!
I still have a hard time believing somebody coming up to him saying, "Hey, how'd you like to make a few $100,000 by doing a 5 to 10 minute scene? That's it. You don't go anywhere. You stay right put. Do the scene in this one area. You come in. You do it. You go. Here's a
Sticks to
check."
his guns, man. You got to respect that. He sticks to his guns.
I do respect that, but you have to admit Hollywood is very persuasive when it comes to money.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, look at the,
obviously
look at
he doesn't
Ghostbusters
give a
2.
shit about money.
Honestly,
I
look
mean-
at Ghostbusters 2. None of them wanted to do Ghostbusters 2, but that came around because of the success of the Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yeah, but I think the reason they didn't want to do it is because they thought their scripts sucked. And
Well, that too. I think in interviews they said they felt like everything wrapped up in the first movie.
Right. And I think that's why the Afterlife movie works so well, because it's like almost taking the first movie. Yes, you're taking elements of all the others, but primarily it's the first movie to this movie.
Right.
They wanted to pass the torch.
Everything in the middle happens.
Yes, it's
Everything
a
in
good
the middle
way
is
of passing the
important,
torch, yeah.
but passing the torch, exactly. You're going from the first movie to this movie.
So speaking of passing the torch, how do you guys feel about that last moment when the Ecto-1 is pulling into the old firehouse?
I liked it.
And Winston just kind of gently puts his hand down on it. You get that feeling that it's going to continue.
Yeah, of course. It was
I think
fantastic.
that the driving through the streets of New York definitely helped.
Yes. But just the fact his character was the one who made it.
Yep.
He was the one who was sort of watching out for everybody. You
Well,
know?
that leads
I
us
love
to
how he
the
was paying
second-
for
second post-credit
Ray's
scene.
rent and everything. Yeah.
The second
He'll turn
post-credit
a
scene
profit
where
someday.
where it shows Janine having the coin from Egon, and like she goes to see Winston, and he's now a very successful, entrepreneur. He owns a lot of businesses, and he's been maintaining the Ghostbusters property, and he bought
In
it
the
back from
background.
Star-
Yep.
In the
They don't know
background,
this.
silently, and everything else like that. And he just kind of walks in. It was just like, he's going to be the mentor character, and I would love to see what they do with that, especially considering that this is the stuff we needed. This is the stuff we needed for fans.
Yeah, it would also be nice to see the concept of money behind the group, because they basically were breaking just before the hotel ghost with Slimer. They mentioned this is the last of the petty cash. In other words, we are broke.
Brett,
Slow down.
Brett, chew food.
I want to see ghost traps on drones next movie.
Yes.
Ooh,
That would be
that's
really cool.
great. That would be really cool.
But that would involve a concerted effort of almost like the military or CIA, FBI, some organization that really believes in the Ghostbusters or that ghosts exist, that they start bringing drones in. They start putting the massive amounts of money in to make the necessary newer equipment.
Does that
lighter
mean we're gonna get the Egon Spangler with
Spectre
the
Squad.
what was it? The little motor scooter that turned into a helicopter?
Oh
man.
gosh, from the cartoon, yes.
Imagine this. Phoebe, brilliant, continues doing her grandfather's work. She, like her grandfather, brilliant, gets a bunch of degrees and everything like that. She ends up heading up the organization that runs the new Ghostbusters. Yes, you've got Ecto-1, you've got the proton packs, but now with her brilliance and the money behind it, the proton packs are smaller, compactor, different style, kind of like what they did in the Melissa McCarthy version, where they came up with that hand thing, and different style of weapons to use.
Yeah.
Right.
That's another idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would.
Patent pending.
I ain't giving you fucking money.
Yeah, I honestly, I think that whoever Ivan Reitman comes to for ideas, it's not going to be us, as much as I'd love that to happen.
Oh yeah.
But I am looking forward to seeing what they do next.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
I am very excited to see
And-
how it continues.
And also, just to put a slight note on that, if they choose not to, I'm okay with it as well.
Oh yeah.
I think this also ended very
good
well.
Point. Good point. If this was technically the last of the Ghostbusters movies, then that's a pretty damn good way to go out.
It was a
Yeah,
nice-
I would be very happy too.
It definitely gives an opening, but it's an opening that doesn't necessarily have to go through.
Dude,
Right.
I like that. They gave us the opening and they just went, you know what? We're good. You guys know? Good. Use your
There you go.
imagination.
Exactly.
On IMDb, the trivia says as of now, there's no discussions on a sequel.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that there's already a couple of scripts being developed for
I'm
it,
sure
but
that
I
there's
think
a Hollywood executive going, "Hey, that made money. Let's do another one."
well,
Well, I know Dan Aykroyd had said that it's like Sid just said, that there's nobody's really talking about it right now. But if somebody were to bring a script up, all three of them would be more than on board to do a movie
good.
in some capacity.
Good.
I think the capacity they did for this movie was perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't overwhelming, like you
No,
said.
they showed up
They were
just-
main characters, but for this movie, they weren't. And it showcased that. And I really think that they can be happy and do some good, funny work as secondary or tertiary
Now,
characters.
Maybe
Because
30
they're-
years-
because
maybe
they're a
20
little
years
bit
ago, they
older.
could have done it.
Well, do you think that because they're a little bit older now that they need a little extra help to, get it hard? You know the
movie
line.
you're talking about? Oh.
Don't you remember?
Oh yeah, I know.
When they get the proton packs?
Yeah, they always edited that out of the TV.
Yeah, they edited out of the TV one where Venkman just yells out, "Get him hard!" And they go, click, click.
I don't remember that.
You forgot about that?
Yeah. Why did they do that? What does that mean?
You sure they don't say "get them hot"?
No, that's the edit on the TV one.
See, I think I only remember the "get them hot."
No, if you watch it again and you put the little subtitles on, he screams out, "Get him hard!"
Oh, geez.
And then they twist it and they click, click.
Well, honestly, the whole thing with the ghost going down on Ray was completely missed on me as a kid. So,
now, who was that actress?
oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
We were actually having a conversation.
Because Dan Aykroyd, wasn't he married to Donna Dixon?
I believe so. Isn't he still married to Donna Dixon? Or?
I think so. Yeah. Who's Donna Dixon? Oh my God, Donna Dixon, my first crush in life.
Good for you.
Pull up Google and let's pull up Donna Dixon. But I'm going to go to IMDb and see who was the ghost.
Yeah, so Jamie and I were having a conversation about that when I brought up the the conversation of how Ray, what's the singer? Parker?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, the singer. Ray Parker Jr., thank you. If you listen to the Ghostbusters song, he sounds very sexy, or he's trying to sound very sexy in it. And I asked Jamie, I was like, why? Why is he trying to do that? I mean, what is the purpose of that? And especially when we watch the video, it's laced in 80s style sex appeal and all that.
Sexiness, baby.
But it's so over the top, it's ridiculous.
And apparently they ripped off the song "I Want a New Drug" for the riff in it.
I heard say, yeah. I still really kind of don't hear it.
No, I don't either. But people have tried to bring it up. You know, something strange in the neighborhood. I want a new drug. No.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Mental Suppository, and thank you for your support throughout 2021. And we hope you continue to listen throughout 2022 as we bring you new episodes. And what would be a Ghostbusters episode without a little Ghostbusters music to end it with?
Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, spirits in the night. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, something to ride. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, makes you want to scream. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, get a Ghostbusting machine. If you hear a noise late at night, the tables move from left to right. Pictures fall right off the wall. You've got the ghost, the big and small. And if you want to chase them out, 'cause they're not just a dream, go out now, don't you delay. Get it, Ghostbusting machine. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, spirits in the night. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, something to hear it right. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, makes you want to scream. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters, get a Ghostbusting machine. Illusion, confusion, they all move from room to room. They're flying here and they're flying there, sometimes on a broom. Scaring people, that's their job. Some of them are really mean. The only way to get them out is with a Ghostbusting machine.
The Mental Suppository has been produced by Brett Herholtz and Jamie Billings and distributed by M the Media Project. Theme music generously donated by Mr. B, the Gentleman Rhymer. Visit his webpage at gentlemanrhymer.com. We would love to hear from our fans. Email us at mentalsuppository@gmail.com.